every little kid has invented a game at some point. It's like, throw the ball off the wall, and if it hits over here, you get 2 points, and if you catch it, you get 5 points. My guest today turned the game he invented into a multi-million-dollar business. Over 1 million people have now played the sport that he invented, and the brand does over $10 million a year in revenue. My guest today is Greg Meade. Greg, thanks for being here. Welcome to the show. Let's start here. Where did you come up with the idea for What is Crossnet, and where did you come up with the idea for it?
Thanks for having me, John. The idea from Crossnet actually stemmed from Foursquare, right? Old school box ball, Foursquare, whatever you call it. In different countries, it's called different things. But one night, Mike, our partner, my best friend in high school, called me up. He said, "Greg, let's invent something. Let's make something." Because he just graduated from Northeastern, and he was like an engineer. And he's like, "I don't want to do this 9-to-5 build robots thing for the rest of my life." And he knew I was in like the social media space. I had other previous companies online, and I was like, "All right, come on over, get your ass over." And we ended up just sitting on the couch all night, just brainstorming, jotting down ideas. We had a wall speaker. I wish we still had that list. Man, that would be cool.
You're like, I don't know, plant, pot, food. There's something there.
We literally had a list of 100
crap down.
Yeah, we had a list of 100 things, just crossing them off. It was between a wall speaker and it was Crossnet, a 4-way volleyball game.
Okay.
So we were coming up with names: Air Square, Four Square, in the air.
So I interrupted you a little bit. You said Crossnet, and it's a 4-square volleyball game. So if you just imagine 4-square, but volleyball, that's exactly what Crossnet is. If you've never seen it, I think most people have seen it at this point. Most of the country has at least seen videos of this being played.
Yeah, it's true. Like right now, every time I ask someone if they've seen it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know what it is. I've seen it before." Or they'll take a second. They're like, "Oh, I've seen that on a Facebook ad or something." And definitely once you show them, they're like, "Oh, I've seen that somewhere." So it's definitely cool. Like we are a very large brand. We're the fastest growing backyard game in history. Mm-hmm. And it's been cool. It's been a whirlwind, but we are larger than we are internally, if that makes sense. Like our physical, because our product is large and it's out there.
Yeah. It's like very well known. That's crazy that you're the fastest growing backyard game in history. That includes like cornhole, spike ball. Spike ball is like on ESPN. There's like spike ball championships. So
they're old. They've been around for 15 plus years. So yeah. And you guys are, fastest growing in history. That's dope. So that was how you came up with the idea. How did you okay, we got an idea. A lot of people get an idea, right? Like, I don't know, 4-square volleyball sounds like a good time. Like how did it, there's obviously a ton of steps between, where you are now and there, but like, how did you start making your first like sales of it? How did you make the first product? How did you start making the first sales of it? That kind of stuff. Yeah. So that night we came up with the idea, and then the next morning, because by the time we came up with the idea, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. Mike was about to leave. I was like, "No, wait, like we can get it." And then Mike came up with like 4-way volleyball, and we're like, "Yes, that's it." We were big Can Jam fans growing up. So
big fans of 4-way, big fans of volleyball. Two things exactly. I like.
So we went out we had a friend pick up 2 badminton nets for us at the local Target, Walmart. And we rigged them against my mom's shed in a tree, and then we cut the net and like intertwined it. And then we had 4 people play it. We tested it with our friends and my mom and stuff, and we enjoyed it. It was a fun game, and we were like kept coming up with the rules and trying to remember old school 4-square rules because we haven't played in 2 decades. So yeah, it was fun. We came up with the rules on the spot, and then eventually it took us about 9 to 11 months, almost a year, to really invent it and bring home a product that we were comfortable selling. Mm-hmm. So we were making it. Mike's an engineer by trade, so the next day he was on the CAD doing the blueprints, the mock engineering, and then sourcing with our factories overseas.
Yeah. Did your mom cook you?
No, she sucks.
You're like, no, dude, I was the best.
She's probably played it twice since we started.
Who was the best when you started? Was it you?
Yes, I was. Yeah. I constantly say that. And then Mike got a little better. He learned like the trick shots and stuff. Chris has always been the worst. For sure.
I know you and your brother Chris, who is the other co-founder, and I've never met Mike, but just in my imagination, there's no way Chris is as good at Crossnet as you are.
Yeah, there's no shot. It's true.
Okay, so you got your product. And then, so you engineered it, sourced it from overseas. Guessing that took a few rounds. It's never quite right the first time overseas. you got the product that you're comfortable selling. Like, how many of them do you have? Like, you're like, I got a freaking basement full of them, or do you have like 100? How many do you have initially?
Yeah, so we had a small warehouse at the time for other e-com ventures, but we brought in 300, I believe it was.
Okay.
We took out all the money from our bank accounts and like all our saved up money from our summer jobs and stuff, and we spent it on inventory. We brought in 300, I believe, was the first big large batch, and then we launched it that Christmas 2018.
Okay.
So we started off in the winter, which is like
with a summer backyard game. That was a great idea.
We were just like,
you were thinking gifting. I get it.
Yeah, we were waiting. We were waiting a year plus to launch this company, so we're like so itchy to just get it going.
How did you get your initial sales with it?
Initial sales was done through just crazy guerrilla marketing of like going to the beach every day. So long story short, we grew up on the farm in Connecticut, the three of us. And we were like, yo, we can't, like, we have to leave. We have to go to a beach.
There's snow outside. We can't even make videos of this thing. Yeah,
exactly. So we all packed our bags. We moved to Miami, South Beach. And we went to the beach every day for like, I don't know, what it seems like a year straight. And we had blisters on our feet because the sand was so hot, but we would set it up at a beach. So we'd go to Nikki Beach and South Point Pier a lot in Miami, if you're familiar with that nice area. Okay. And that's where the tourists go, like the families. It's kind of like the family section.
Okay.
So we'd play. Every time we set up a Crossnet, there would be 4 of us, and then people would come join us. We had kids from, one time, we always say this, there was this group from Michigan, a bunch of kids on vacation, about 20 of them. They all came in. We started playing doubles, and a few days later, we get sales from Michigan, and we're like, how the hell? Oh, it's that family that we played with on the beach. Yeah. Right. So it's just a snowball effect. You talk to them.
Hold on. You were just playing with, you weren't selling them while you were there?
No, we weren't not selling.
People like, how can I buy this? You're like, you can't, you got to go online.
Got to go online. Exactly. We weren't like lugging around boxes. Like, they're heavy. It's not like a CPG product that's in your bag.
Well, like nowadays you guys have a backpack but I'm guessing back then you didn't.
Yeah, no, we had the backpack back then, but like we only had certain amount to use on samples, right? Like we weren't trying to waste them. Now, like to this day, now we set them up and we just leave them. And we write notes in the bags like, please take this and send us content. This is all yours.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's how it started. Just literally just setting up Crossnet and making content, and then just communicating, talking with people, flirting with girls on the beach, trying to have them come play, and like, it worked. It was amazing, but it got tiring and exhausting,
Right. Yeah. You're playing a lot of Crossnet.
Yeah.
That's cool. So then during that time, you're also like shooting content, you're posting it on Instagram. Like, are you using the content that you're getting from that to like build a following, and that's leading to more sales?
Yeah, absolutely. So we used Twitter actually to start, and it started trickling in a few sales. Yeah. It's not common at all.
What was the thought process on using Twitter?
Thought process was, I have a large network of Twitter accounts that I work with. I've been doing that for like a decade now. Me and a few buddies were in like this Twitter e-com space before a lot of like the accounts got banned and stuff. So we had a large pages. So we did like this black hat retweet underground marketing strategy, and we just get mass retweets all day and impressions. But for like the Crossnet side, like I buy shout outs, retweets or whatever from sports pages, and we do retweets on these sports pages with our content. So we get these targeted sports followers. So we started with that, but then it kind of like went hayside. So we had to like maneuver, and we started using the content on Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and organic. And then TikTok popped up a few years in actually, and done well.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you were getting so most of your sales in that guerrilla phase, like you didn't like get any kind of blow up organically, or did you?
No, we did. So like we during this process of posting and stuff, we have people reach out to us, and we send Crossnets out to people. So we sent a Crossnet out to the Lithuanian gold medalist volleyball athletes. And we sent that out like in the beginning, like the first ever week of Crossnet. And then like a year in, or a few months in, 6 months in, I don't know, we woke up to like 100 sales on our Shopify. And we're like,
in Lithuania?
Like no idea. We had no idea where it was coming from. We didn't know how to track things back then. We had no idea. We had no triple whale attribution.
You're like, what did we do? Can we do more of it? Do we know what it was?
Exactly. So we finally figured it out. It was a viral Facebook post that just got like 10 million views on it. And it was like...
But it wasn't you. It was somebody else?
It was 4 gold gold Olympian athletes that played volleyball, and they made this crazy rally. We still use the content to this day, like 5 years later. It's a great rally. It's the best rally we ever had. It's pinned to our feed actually, and it's cool. And that's what really sparked like this creator aspect of like, hey, we have to seed this to the volleyball community. We have to seed this to like the mom with the 3 kids in the backyard that needs, something to do for their kids. So that's when we started shifting our focus to like creator content, and then using the best content for the meta ads.
Yeah. So you had a little bit of a blow up organically. You start seeding, so sales are growing there. I'm guessing at this point you're through your initial 300. You're kind of doing some reordering and stuff like that. By the time you're getting the organic blow up, like let's say that at that point that you had that organic blow up from those like gold medalists, were you still on the beach in Miami every day?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We were still hustling. That didn't stop us. It actually made us want to go out and like, if I recall, like made us want to go out and like try to replicate that video.
Yeah.
Every day. So
which is difficult if you don't have 4 gold medalists.
Yeah. And like, we're not volleyball players. Like we didn't grow up playing volleyball, any of us. So like, I can't even do the set spike, whatever this is called.
But you don't use that a lot in Crossnet. Like it's mostly hands above the head hits.
Yes, that's true. But when you play with volleyball players, they know how to control it really well by doing the bump, and they can do it no problem. And it's actually probably better for them.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. So you guys are still hustling. You're getting a little bit of organic blow up. So it's gaining traction. I think the next phase from what you're saying sounds like when you guys started actually running like paid ads on what was then Facebook, is now still Facebook, but I guess we're supposed to call it Meta. Yeah. Facebook and Instagram, you started running paid ads. Like tell me that thought process. Like, why did you guys pull the trigger on doing that? Why didn't you do that earlier? What was the thought process behind the timing there?
Yeah, I think we were just staying patient on the Meta. We weren't too comfortable with it. Well, the Facebook, we weren't too comfortable with it. We've never ran Facebook paid ads in our life. We had no idea. So we use the content. And we're like, wait, we need to start getting more traffic. Like we know if we get 100 visitors to the site, we get 2 sales, right? Mm-hmm. So we needed to start picking up the traffic, and Facebook was where it was at, and it was starting to really like take off at that time too,
right?
More than ever. So we partnered with, I think, an agency. I'm not sure which one was first, but then we just started just getting traffic and learning the ins and outs of Facebook, right? And what content works, what content doesn't, and scaling from there.
By then, you guys weren't on the beach anymore. Like you weren't going to the beach every day anymore.
Yeah. So we ended up moving to San Diego after 3 years in Miami. 2 years in Miami. 3 years in Miami. We moved to San Diego. So we were in Miami for the first 2-3 years, and then we shifted over to San Diego, where we needed to find a warehouse, actually. Mm-hmm. So we found our warehouse in San Diego because we imported into Long Beach there. Because it saves us money routing overseas. So we found the warehouse in San Diego, and we were doing it all ourselves. Like we didn't have a 3PL. So we were like,
still just the 3 of you at this time?
No, we've had a few hires now, like probably 3 or 4 hires at this point. And then we moved out to San Diego, and we had to have eyes on the operations out there, right? On the warehouse. Mm-hmm. So we hired some people for the warehouse. We would go to it weekly, daily, and check in. And we took our talents to San Diego beaches, which was fun. We had a beach on Mission Beach next to the Ferris wheel, if you're familiar with it. Not the Ferris wheel, the rides, whatever, the amusement park. And we just set up the Crossnet on the beach every day, make content, holler at people. People would just go play. We'd leave signs up. Lifeguards would come give us tickets, the whole 9 yards. It was fun, though. And we did that for a year and a half. And then we all went back to Florida now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you're running ads like... So did ads kind of like, as soon because you'd sort of proven the product, did ads like work and take off right away? And like, that's when the business really started scaling, or did it take a little bit to get it right, or what?
Yeah, the ads started taking off right away. We actually used that same organic piece that went viral on the ads, and it just took off. We tried to, like I was saying, we tried to replicate those videos, and we used those, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. Mm-hmm. But at that point, we were getting so much attention, like nationwide. We get on like the Ellen DeGeneres show, Good Morning Americas, and then the retail started to go during this time period as well.
Right.
we would cold outreach on LinkedIn. People would come to us, to our site. I remember, I think Dick's Sporting Goods buyer came to us on our chat, on our gorgeous chat, and we missed it. We missed the chat.
That was for those who don't know, Gorgeous is a customer service platform for e-commerce brands. So somebody reached out to your like customer service chat like a normal customer.
Yes,
and he's like, "Yes, I'm a buyer at Dick's. I'd like to buy 100,000 of these."
Yeah, exactly. And
this is how the buyers operate at Dick's Sporting Goods, apparently.
Yeah, we missed it. I'm not sure if it was Dick's. I can't recall, but it was
somebody.
Store. Yeah, it was funny, and we missed it, and we finally saw it in the email like the next day.
Yeah,
but yeah, we were closing retail deals from there, and then since then we've almost hit every national North America big box store that sells games or sporting goods. So
it's go to Walmart, you see it. Go to anywhere you like, wherever you shop there, go to the sporting goods section. Crossnet is there. Okay, cool. So like, tell me, like, what were the kind of challenges? What were the like biggest challenge points? I think it sounds like in the early days, like it's a grind, it's hard, but it's like, it's just the three of us. We got nothing to lose here, right? Like we're going to the beach every day and playing Crossnet. It's honestly not that bad of a life, right? But then, different challenges hit at different phases. So hit me with like, what are the biggest challenges been? Biggest challenges is maintaining like inventory, just having it on time, ordering the right amount or not ordering the right amount. So that's been our number one challenge. They're not small products, they're heavy. So every time we do a shipment, it's expensive. We can't air ship it. Like the products you see nowadays, right? If you need emergency. So that just getting over this inventory hurdle has been hard. And we always like underestimated our value, I guess, of like what we're going to sell. Like we bring in one container and then like in reality, we probably knew we needed two. And, we underestimated ourselves a few times in the beginning stages of the company, which came back to bite us. Customers angry, not having like good customer satisfaction on like delayed shippings and all that. And then I would say the second struggle is like once you start getting into retail, you're on Amazon, D2C, Walmart.com, Target.com, all these channels. It's very hard to attribute to like where your marketing dollars are going. So like you're spending on Facebook $1, right? Does that dollar go to Amazon? Does it go to Shields? Does it go to Wegmans? Like where does it go? And that's been the hardest part. Yeah, and there was the biggest push I remember with Crossnet was we actually had like, you guys, I think I talked to your like marketing director or something like that. And like, this is like one of my favorite stories to tell other brands is like, I was like kind of saying that to him, I was like, okay, when we're running ads on Facebook, you guys are on all these places like Amazon, Dix.com, Walmart. Like there's so many places people can go look for it. Like if anybody researches it, looks for reviews, anything like that, they just know, they see all these other trusted places they can buy it. I don't know what the effect of these ads is on those channels and if we can really scale ads or not. And he's like, yeah, okay, totally. I hear that. And then the next week he came back to me and he's like, okay, John, I built a data model. And he had like spent all week on like this spreadsheet, like data model, like that pulled in sales from all of the other channels and like correlated it to spend dips and rises and stuff like that. And he's like, so basically if on our website we're doing this much in sales, it actually is equal to this much in sales across all retail. And it was like 1 to 3. Like if we do like $1 in sales on our website, we're doing like $3 in sales across all platforms. And then we're like, okay, well, let's test that out. And we scaled up a little bit. We started spending a little bit more money on ads and then a little bit more. And then it was like Black Friday and it got real wild. And like, from what I remember, it held up pretty well. And so I think that's like a super interesting thing. Retailing, it seems like the holy grail, right? Like, oh, they just buy a whole bunch of them. That's so nice. But it makes it a much harder business to manage. Like that's like real old school business, Yeah, it's fun. Like it's great. You can walk into stores and see your products, but it's tough. You got to make sure the margins are correct. And you got to know, you have to make sure your product is known if you want to. It's not hard. Like, sure, it's hard getting on retail, but like it wasn't hard for us, right? We had the nationwide brand.
getting into retail was super easy for us. Like
Do you
super.
think it is? Do you think that's the case for everyone, or do you think it's hard for some?
It's hard for most brands because a lot of brands are not unique like us, and they have 10, 20 competitors, right? So for us, it was easy to get into retail, but staying on retail is the hardest thing you could do in your business. Sell through rate. Are you getting a reorder the next summer for the same amount or more, or is it less? Because if it's less, then you're on the decline. So fortunate for us, we haven't really seen any dips in our retail sales yet. The day may come, so you have to prep for that. But yeah, we can touch back on retail if you want.
Well, one time, and that's good because like I think one thing that's interesting is like I don't know if you guys have seen dips in your online sales, but like something I think about with Crossnet is like I've got one, I'm not going to buy another one. Like
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I don't need to buy another one. Like maybe at some point I'll buy it for a gift for somebody, but probably not even that. You know what I mean? It's like it's an awesome product. You set it up, it creates tons of like fun for family, friends, things like that. Like it's a product you can love, and then I never spend money with you as a company again, which is like there's a continuum of that. You know, sometimes you really love like, you know, Monster Energy. I spend money with them every effing day, dude. Like my wife spends money with Red Bull every day. So that's like one end of the continuum. And then there's the Crossnet end where it's like, yeah, love it. Spent money with them once and that's it. And I think from a company standpoint, like, is that a challenge?
It's so hard, man. It's so hard because we can only come up with so many SKUs. Like for the people listening, like we have not just volleyball now, we have pickleball, soccer, pool volleyball, which actually does really well for us. And we're trying to come up with SKUs. Like it's tough.
But yeah, it is. And that's cool. But like, even then, like, I'm not going to buy a soccer one. I don't have that. I don't know anyone like that, you know?
You might buy the pool version if you have a nice pool and you love Crossnet.
If I have a pool, sure. Yeah. So it's like a small percentage of the market even, you know, pickleball maybe, but then that's like a whole other, I'd have to go to a different place, you know? So that seems like the biggest challenge of like the inventing a sport, inventing a backyard game.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it's not as glamorous as you know, people think it is. Like you're not eating your Crossnet and going buy a new one, right? So it's tough. What we can do is try to make new products. And the thing we've lacked at over the years is like having our customers sell for us. We haven't really like initiated that as much as we should. Obviously, when you set it up, you've had probably people come up and ask what it is or play and have a good time with it, right? And then you're probably not like, oh, go to Crossnet Game and buy it, right? Like for an incentive. Right. So like we need to start figuring out ways to have our community get behind us now.
Some of that probably happens naturally. Like if we have a barbecue or family event and that's up, and then, you know, probably a few different of the families are like, that's fun, we should get one, you know?
Exactly.
But it's like, you know, I'm not actively promoting it or anything like that. I'm not like, hey, use code John.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, okay. So that's definitely a challenge. Like, you know, it's grown quite a bit. It's well known, and you guys have had over 1 million people play it at this time. You know, I know it does 8 figures in revenue. I know you can't share specific numbers, but we're doing over $10 million a month in sales with Crossnet, which is great. Some of it's retail, some of it's online. Another thing I think is interesting is like, can you share like what your like take home is from that? Like, cause I think people think if you're doing 10 million, $50 million a year in your business, it must be, you know, you must be loaded, you know, like you must be making a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a good question. I always get it too. I think it's always important to pay the founders. Like pay yourself. Pay yourself. You deserve it. You're working on this business. Yeah. Some years, sometimes it's not like that though. I know when we first started, it took us about 1.5 years, 2 years to even see a dollar because we were just reinvesting. During that time, we probably should have paid ourselves, you know, a few grand each month, but we didn't. We sacrificed, and sometimes you have to do that. You should do that maybe, but as of late, like you can get a salary of, you know, you can take home 70K, you can take home 100K. We've paid our CFO more than me, right? Yeah. Sometimes. So it depends on your business, I think too. Take what you need. I don't think you take what you want.
That's a good way to put it. I think this is in the SaaS. If you hold the equity in SaaS or e-commerce or really any business where you're trying to build it, and in order to build it, you have to hire a team and you have like overheads. a lot of times it's not like a coaching business or a consulting or an agency where, you make 100K a month and you're taking home 50K of it and you are pretty well off, right? Like you're doing well, right? And that's just not what e-commerce is. A lot of times it's like more about what you're building and it's the enterprise value, right? Eventually there could be a sale of it or something like that. But your founder salary is it's like a good salary, or like a solid salary, but it's a lot of people make it at a job,
Exactly. Yeah.
And you end up paying high level people at the company more than you make because they don't hold the equity.
Exactly. That's it.
I think that's interesting. So, I mean, on that, do you feel like it's hard to stay focused then? Like, I'm guessing like at certain points you just want to make more money,
Yeah, no, I don't think it's hard to stay focused. We have a lot of cool things coming out, new products, always trying to innovate. And I think that keeps us motivated. It is like new products coming out. When's it drop? We have the new company with Danny Duncan, Good Sport. That's been fun.
Let's get into that. Because basically it's like you invented a sport. It blew up. It got huge. You realized maybe some of the limitations of that business. So you're like, well, a way to limit things is just do that same thing that works really well again. And maybe over and over. I mean, maybe your plan is to do this 4 or 5, 6 more times in the next 10 years or something like that. But yeah, let's get into Good Sport. Like, how did that come to be? And how did that come to be?
Yeah. So Crossnet, we've been doing it for years. Over the years, we've been coming up with ideas in our head that just don't fit in that 4 square, model of our game. Right. So we're not going to just go launch a Frisbee game in Crossnet. It doesn't make sense. So all these ideas we're taking, we put them under the Good Sport umbrella. We have a lot more coming out this year, which is we're finally super excited for. The first year we only dropped 3, one of them being super unique, called Smash Net. It's like a round net ping pong volleyball combo. Super fun. And we partnered with Danny Duncan, YouTube celebrity, because he loves games, he loves the sports, he loves the vision. We became good friends with him, and it's been fun. But this year we're really excited to just drop unique games every quarter, and hopefully we continue that for years and years and become the new sporting goods software games company. So
this is what's super cool here is like I think you did something where you're like, okay, we invented a backyard game. We know a lot of the playbook. Like a lot of the playbook you guys use can be used still, right?
Exactly.
Facebook ads aren't quite as juicy as they once were, but like you can still do all the guerrilla tactics you did. You can still get all the press because it's unique and like people are always looking for stories. And now there's even more media people with all the creators there are. And like when Facebook ads are the juiciest are typically when it's like this new and unique product that people haven't seen, right? So you can still run ads for this stuff. So it's basically what you did here is you had like, hey, we did this thing. We're very successful at it. We know the playbook. We know that playbook will work again. This one is limited, right? Because people will only buy one of these. Like once we've reached a certain amount, like we can only penetrate more market, and we've like picked a lot of those apples, right? It's only the top of the tree apples that are really left to pick. So why don't we just go to another tree, right? And like do this all again. And why don't we just create this sort of holding company where we sort of do it over and over? I think it's a like super great idea. I think a lot of times people are like, I got to get out of the game inventing business and get into something more scalable. And you're like, what's scalable? That we already know how to do over and over.
Yeah, exactly. And that helps us with our problem of, having that LTV be cut, right? Like you said, you're not going to go buy another Crossnet, but you might go buy SmashNet. You might go buy the next game we come out with.
Right. And hopefully each product develops its own audience and there's some crossover between those audiences.
Of course. And then hopefully we can take over the retail space, retail shelving.
Yeah. A whole sporting goods section. All the backyard games are you guys.
Yep.
I love that. So how did this Danny Duncan partnership come to be? Because like, I know it's been easy for you to get into retail. I know it's probably been easy for you to get maybe even creators to make content with Crossnet. Let me tell you something. For the rest of the world, it's not easy to get a partnership with Danny Duncan. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it was easy for you, but for most people, they can't just like walk up to Danny Duncan and be like, hey, dude, you want to sell something together? He'll be like, get out of here. So how did this happen?
Yeah, Danny's definitely particular with what he sells too. He's not a sellout. He only does what he likes.
Like he's a big time not sellout. Like that's
exactly.
He gets a bunch of videos demonetized on YouTube.
Because he puts
YouTube doesn't pay him because it's like inappropriate content or whatever, and he's like, I don't care. Like, it's good. It's good.
Exactly. Yeah. He's crushing it with his merch and stuff, and Spencer and Zoomies and stuff. Yeah, he's crushing it. But yeah, we started the partnership with him. We reached out to do something with Crossnet actually for him. We're like, hey, can we let's do a post? Like one of our social media interns actually loved him and reached out.
Okay.
And he's like $50K for a post. And we're like, no, we don't have that money. But thanks, we'll send you one anyways for fun. And then he connected with Chris. He's like, sorry, we couldn't get to do something. But I love the game. Like, I love the game. I love your game. I love.
So you sent it to him. He tried it, and he's like, I like it.
I think so. Or he knew what it was, or he played it.
How did you connect with Chris? Like, were they in
LinkedIn? On LinkedIn actually, because Chris has been posting on.
Danny reached out to him. Was like, okay,
I think so. Yeah, or they connected in the DM somehow. And then I think Danny sent to him a bunch of merch, and then they just connected, and we met up with him in California one time, and we showed him our new company coming out with like all the new games and stuff, and he's like, yeah, like I love the games, I love the sporting ideas, and I think it was his idea to like, hey, let's just work together. Like I want to come out with sports games, backyard games, like you guys. You guys do all the work, I'll do the media stuff, and we can make this work for the long term.
Did you know what I love about it too? Is it's such good. What I call content. I didn't come up with this phrase. It's such good content product fit. Like he can make an incredible video with Crossnet, like even coming up with different variations, ideas, trick shots, pranks, things like that, with Crossnet or with any of the games like SmashNet, any of them. And those videos get tons of views, and the product's just like so naturally integrated. He doesn't have to be like, how Mr. Beast is like, yeah, and while they're making that decision, let me tell you about Feastables, and I mean, which is not bad. People buy Feastables, don't get me wrong, but it's just different. Like there's just this perfect product content fit. So he's such a good like partnership. I don't know if there's a lesson there other than like I think if you've got great product, you should be seeding it. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, something unique is great. But like anything that you have that's a great product, even if I think digital product, people could even do this, right? Like you should be seeding it, and because you never know what's going to come from that. Like I've seen brands that sell wallets and bags just seed product, and a lot of people get tons of seeded product and they never try it out, but somebody does. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's true. It's true. We've done it for Crossnet. It's also backfired too. Like when the NIL deals came out with the college kids, we sent like 500 Crossnets out, and like our product's huge. Cost us, $35 all in with shipping and stuff. And we only got like 50 pieces of content back. Out of 100. So we wasted so many. So that's
a good point. Like I just kind of preached seeding, but like, do you think, like, what's the counter argument to what I just said? Because I think a lot of people get a lot of products seeded to them, like big creators, Instagram influencers, whatever. They get so much product sent to them, and most of it, I bet they never even open. So seeding is definitely a mass play. Most people are never even going to touch your product, and a few people will.
Yeah, I think seeding's great. I do. Like, I do think it's a great strategy. I think it depends on your product, right? Like for us, expensive. You have to be cautious for a $3 protein gummy thing, right? Like
send it. If it's cheap, send it to everybody. But like, what if it is more expensive? Like, because you guys still do it. So how do you think through it? How do you like do it more tactically?
Right now, we won't seed a Crossnet unless someone's really interested. And they reach out to us. Sure, we'll send you one. You have 40K on Instagram, right? TikTok.
Okay.
We'll form a relationship. For the good sport side of things, we have Danny's leverage kind of. So we'll take Danny's friends, right? And I know Eric, he's buddies with Eric. Eric posted the SmashNet for free. FaZe Rug posted the SmashNet for free in a review. That's all seeded, right? And that's our leverage. But normal companies don't have, the YouTube celebrity influence to seed. So I would just be cautious about who you do seed to, and make sure they have interest. They know it's coming.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blind send $50 products out.
Do you think that like for most companies, it is worth like going down that? So you guys had Crossnet, and then you launched Good Sport with Danny, and like there's another brand out there, Chamberlain Coffee. I'm sure you're familiar with it, Emma Chamberlain. It's just it's a company I think called Bixby Coffee. They are already a D2C coffee company, and they just spun up this second coffee company with Emma. Like, do you think that's actually like, and I think people see that really working. Do you think that's actually like an employable strategy, or is it something that is like, increase your surface area for luck, but this isn't something you should pursue,
I think the creator route is amazing. If you have a
Right.
good relationship with them and they're interested, right? If you're just trying to find
That's
a creator,
what I mean. Like, let's say you're not there yet, is like, do you think it's like I need to find a big creator to partner with, and like I'm doing all this out? Do you think that's a viable strategy, or do you think it's just like, nah, you kind of just have to you got to be able to win independently, and it'll probably make it easier for you to find a creator to.
Yeah, everything should be like copacetic when it comes to that. It's kind of similar to like finding a founder partner, right? If you're a solo founder, like don't force a founder. Don't like go try to like do job recruits for a founder, right?
Yeah,
that should be organic and come naturally. So I don't think you force your way into a celebrity founded business either.
Yeah.
Unless a celebrity founder is like looking for a certain gig or product, right, to launch.
Right.
You never know, but I would say shoot your shot for sure. If you're interested in someone, right, shoot your shot. You have nothing to lose.
I think you need you guys had the Crossnet in. So this is what I've found in doing any kind of creator thing. Don't reach out to them without some sort of product to start with, right? Don't reach out to them with a business idea. Because they're like, what? Like, I don't, unless they are like, you already know them or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But like, yeah, like it's way easier to just reach out to them and be like, hey, what are your rates for like a collab? And then you have a starting point for the conversation. And maybe that works out, and maybe you do the collab with them, or maybe you don't, but you at least have the starting point for the conversation. If you don't do it, you can still send them product. If you do it, then, again, then you're hoping, hey, my product is strong enough that if they do try this, which they'll have to for the collab, then they'll really like it, and I can like nurture a relationship with this person. So I think you kind of have to have a starting point, and then just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
Okay. So you kind of, I have a couple questions here, because I think this is a super great idea to like sort of create this holdco of like backyard games and sports. Love what you're doing with that. Do you think, what does your team look like?
Team looks like we have the three co-founders for Crossnet. This is
okay.
We have operations. We have about 4 employees now. We used to have a lot. I can tell a little backstory about that. After we blew up, went viral, Facebook ads were going crazy. We kind of overhired for our product, our niche. Had like 20 employees at one time. All great people, all great workers. But at the end of the day, we are a backyard games company. We don't need 25 employees. We're not a new tech startup, right? So
what were they doing? Like, no, they were shooting content or something. I don't know what they were doing.
No, so like once you get into the retail side of things, it's actually like very complicated and
okay,
time-consuming paperwork. It's a lot of back-end stuff too. But we had social media people. We had roles. There's so many roles we can create for a backyard games company. Like you can go create a social media person to go travel the world in a van, right? Like, which I want to do. But like no, they had roles. You're working online though. Like not everyone's working 8 hours. Like some days I don't work 8 hours, right? Like so my employee's not. But like that's just the truth behind it. But no, we eventually realized like we overpaying, overhead's way too much. We had to cut back and become this small team again. And because like when we started overhiring, myself, Mike, and Chris, we kind of got into like these managerial roles. Like we would have people under us. We'd have to like get reports, and like that's not our skill set. So like my job as CEO is like make sure like we're in like each of the founders are utilizing their skill set. Chris's skill set is talking, sales, selling, right? And then Mike's is like operation stuff, math, financials. So we kind of took ourselves away from what we were doing best.
So a couple quick questions here. Do you structure each of the teams, like is Crossnet's not part of Good Sport, but imagine the brands within Good Sport are structured from a team standpoint similarly to what Crossnet is. It's the model.
Yeah, it's same model.
So within each individual brand within Good Sport, are all the teams separate, or are there shared resources?
Shared resources. Shared resources.
So somebody might be a social media manager for like multiple brands within Good Sport.
Yes, different paychecks though from different companies.
Got you. Okay, so Next, so nobody's employed by like Good Sport, the holding company then.
Correct.
Okay. And then my next question is like, what is like the core team of like now Crossnet? Like what's the core team of like, here are the people you have to have if you have a backyard games company that does retail sales?
Yeah. Well, the three founders, we take care of a lot of stuff.
What would you say your guys' roles are, like job?
Mine's very broad, visionary, legal stuff, marketing, and then Chris's is more sales marketing, and then Mike's is more operations finance.
Okay.
Right. And then we have for retail, we have someone that handles the operations, like the routing, the trucks.
Yeah, you got to do stuff so right. Like if you put the boxes on sideways, like if you put the boxes on like, hey, this side's the bottom. If you put the other side down, Walmart like won't even pay you for them.
Exactly.
Like, you couldn't scan the barcodes. Yeah.
We've lost tens of thousands of dollars just by a sticker in the wrong spot in a box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, you got an ops person for managing all of those retail logistics.
Yep. We have a finance assistant. She's great. She's actually in college and she's crushing it. And we use softwares like Finaloop, that has been great recently. And just try to find some softwares that are cheap and affordable that make sense and that can help you as like for the finance stuff. But it's really a small team. We have an agency for marketing. I have people that do social media content for us, and
for like freelancers or
freelancers and editors. We're currently looking for like this one social media stud that can just be our face and take over content because I don't talk on the camera anymore.
Yeah,
we're not camera people.
So really, core team is like probably if you're doing retail. You need overall finance and ops for the whole company. You need overall like all other logistical things for the whole company. Legal, that's you. And then you need probably another person or two in finance and ops if you're doing a lot of retail.
A lot, yeah. If you're doing a lot of retail operations, like because you need to be communicating with your 3PL, and it depends if you have a warehouse or you're 3PLing it.
Yeah.
And if you're heavy wholesale retail, you want a 3PL that specializes in that. We found one in the United States, which is great.
The marketing team can be pretty minimal. It can be kind of like one core person who works there or is a founder that manages freelancers and agencies external.
Exactly. And we use LinkedIn a lot. Actually, we have like virtual assistants, a lot of virtual assistants on our team we'll use for customer service help when we need, when it's like over inquiries coming in.
Gotcha.
And then we have someone on our LinkedIn's like going outbound on me and Chris's LinkedIn's personally and just like going after like shops and retailers and distributors. And
do you, okay. So if you're uncomfortable with any of these questions, just let me know because I can edit them out. But I want to go back really quick to like your Twitter thing. I saw your brother posted the other day, like, hey, Greg is like the best at Twitter. He crushes it. He's got a boutique Twitter agency. And then I was like, I should hit Greg up. Maybe I could use some help with my Twitter. But I'm like, what is Greg doing? Like Greg's got he's got all sport, he's got Crossnet. And he's like, yeah, I got this little side gig doing Twitter stuff. So like, tell me about the Twitter thing. And like, also what would you say to people who say, isn't that like kind of a distraction?
Yeah. Good question.
You're like,
I've been doing Twitter stuff for 10 plus years now.
Yeah. Okay.
That was before anything.
What is the business? Like, explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a network of accounts, right? Hundreds of thousands of accounts, parody accounts, meme pages. I don't own them all. Our friends and I used to own the pages. But now I just have access to them. And pretty much you pay me and I give you X amount of impressions. So you give me, say $200, I'll give you 1 million impressions guaranteed for that one day. So I'll get you 1 million impressions in one day, snap of a finger. It takes me less than 24 hours. All real, all organic. They're all general views. Like
they're not targeted. They're not targeted. They're all
not targeted, but you have to make your tweet as general you want or targeted, and that will determine your growth, your followers that come in, or the link clicks, who's clicking it. So I have a big network. I can run like 5 million impressions a day. I just started like really doing it as of lately because I've been partnering with a lot of entrepreneur people that want to grow their Twitters, right? Like that wasn't a thing 2 years ago. We used to do it for businesses. I made my first few $1 million for my first company, buying the retweets, buying the ads.
Oh wow.
So now I turned into like the seller and I have access to buying and selling.
What was your first company? You made a few $1,000,000 buying retweets.
Yeah, our first company was called Glunt. It was a glass blunt. We had the patent for it and stuff. It was
You got
fun.
a patent for a glass blunt?
Yeah, we licensed it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it
you've
was
now
fun.
licensed it out, so you can other
Say
people.
again?
You've now licensed it out, so other people can make glass blunt.
No. The guy who owns it is nice.
Anyway, so
Awesome.
you sold a bunch of glass blunts by basically buying
Retweets,
retweets from meme pages.
straight retweets. Yeah,
Dude,
100%.
that sounds like a better hustle than Crossnet from a money making standpoint.
It was at the time. We were
You're
cash
like, I
flowing.
make like $70K a year at Crossnet. I'm like, you could be making more money doing that.
Yeah, straight.
Well,
That's
that's
when we.
meaningful for sure. But
Yeah, and I don't smoke. None of us smoke, so it wasn't. It was we lost our passion for that, and there were so many restrictions because
yeah,
we were before the CBD THC era, and being loose, and now
Yeah.
people are running CBD ads on Facebook, and that was not a thing at all.
dude, here's what I found talking to tons of founders, entrepreneurs, high level people is they almost all of them got their start doing something they probably don't really want to talk to their parents about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost always yeah, no, I don't know. I was selling glass bunts to or I don't know. I was going to garage sales and flipping stuff. Almost everybody gets their start in making dollars on the internet in something that's I don't want to call it shady, but maybe a little shady.
It's a little rough. Yeah, no, for sure. I had to be so cautious about it back in the day because I was in college on a campus.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be promoting it, and it was I've had people come up to me and you can't do that. You can't be making videos for this.
Okay,
All
so
right.
last question, where your personal income, what percentages of if you look at the pie of your personal income, what pieces come from where? Does that make sense? What percentages come from each thing that you do?
Oh gosh, I think I need to do my
You can
accounting.
you can ballpark it, or maybe not.
I would say 60% Crossnet, Good Sport, and then 40% other ventures.
Just whatever other kind of stuff you're getting into.
Marketing stuff, yeah, helping out some other companies. I'm invested in some other few companies that are doing really well right now. I can show you after.
Cool.
But yeah. I think that's a split off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, okay.
Here's
the reason I ask. Here's where the value is, I think, in this for a listener is almost every founder of a company like Crossnet or a company where it's you're building meaning and enterprise value, they're not killing it from income from the company. And they almost always have some sort of supplemental income from something else. Now, the company ever sells, then they kill it, but
That's
the income
when they
from your
come
company is a good solid salary, but to really be making good personal income there, they've got other stuff going on.
Absolutely. And that's how we always will have been, and that's how we always will be, most likely.
Yeah.
Build companies, and then once you exit, that's when you'll make the pie, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. Legacy brands. So
all right. You ready for some lightning round?
let's do it.
All right. First up, we're gonna decide which of these NBA players would win a Crossnet match. So I'm gonna stop this on 4 random NBA players. They're gonna be in the 4 squares, and we're gonna play some 1 through 4. So first up, we got. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Jokic. Jokic, a big guy. Nikola Jokic, that's our first player. Not athletic, but he's big. He's got reach. And
He'll probably win.
honestly, dude, Jokic is that guy who was you know that fat friend you had, that fat kid friend who could just freaking throw a pass on the dot 50 yards and then go over to the basketball court and hit 8 threes in a row. That's Jokic. Unathletic, but just good at stuff,
Yeah, let's see who's next.
All right, next up we got. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Wemby, Victor Wembanyama. He would be a force in Crossnet.
Ooh,
He's so long. Okay, next up. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Ja Morant.
Oh, also pretty good.
He's athletic.
Yeah, he's got hops.
All right,
this is a good battle.
I'm gonna. This should be a good rally. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Devin Booker. So we got Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Booker, Ja Morant. Tell me who gets 4th through 1st.
Devin Booker loses.
Devin Booker in 4th. Yep.
I think Wemby actually takes the third spot. I think I think he spikes it too far a lot
Oh, okay.
onto the square.
So you got Ja Morant in a Victor Wembanyama upset here.
Yeah, I think I got Ja winning, honestly, and Jokic at 3. Yeah.
Like, because Jokic seems like, I feel like Wemby, Jokic, they seem, because they just have that length. Tell me more about Ja. Why do you have Ja?
I think once you play Crossnet a lot and you're like undersized like myself, and you have the hops like Ja, you can find those secret inside off the net shots that the tall guys won't be able to react to.
Oh, yeah. And also just like the touch he has around the rim, that seems like it would translate. Yeah. So you got Devin Booker in 4th, Victor Wembanyama in 3rd, Nikola Jokic 2nd, Ja Morant winning it.
It sounds crazy, but height doesn't always win in Crossnet.
Okay, next up, let's play Would You Rather, but it's collaborations.
Okay.
But it's doing a collaboration. So, would you rather do a collaboration with Dude Perfect or LeBron James?
I think Dude Perfect would make better content. I think LeBron would sell more. So I have to answer about what would make me more money to LeBron.
What you would rather do is Dude Perfect, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that is the selfless founder move. Yeah. Choosing LeBron, choosing the content you need, not the content you want.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we got LeBron James versus Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Okay. You think it would sell more?
That's tough. I think it could. Our target demographic is different than people think. Like the 60-year-old mom is our target demo.
Yeah.
So
you get all those grandkids watching Mr. Beast videos, being like, "We should get this."
Instead of talking to their mom about it. Yeah,
exactly. I think here's how I'll put it: if Mr. Beast just did it as a read, I don't think it would sell as much as LeBron.
Yeah.
If he did it integrated into a video, then I do think it would.
Agree. LeBron's fan base though is like heavy basketball players. Like most basketball players don't play volleyball.
Yeah.
So
he's just huge.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Mr. Beast. This is going to be it's out of left field, but keep an open mind. All right. Mr. Beast or Elon Musk. All right. And I already have the collab with Elon Musk, right? We got Crossnet, XNet. Right?
XNet.
Let's not forget what happened with Dogecoin. Like, I'm just saying, Elon Musk collab could do that could print. I'm just saying.
Damn. I'm probably picking Jimmy and Mr. Beast though in a video collab.
Okay. Because you think you could repurpose the content as well.
That too. I think he'll know how to sell it more than anyone else.
The Elon Musk collab won't even feature Elon Musk playing Crossnet.
Elon Musk collab would just be a tweet.
It would just be like maybe a logo takeover on Twitter and a tweet. Yeah. He'd be like, "This looks cool. I'm not playing it, but it looks cool." Yeah. Or he would challenge Mark Zuckerberg to a game of Crossnet.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Get the 4 billionaires in.
Actually, if Elon challenged Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, and LeBron James to a game of Crossnet with him, then I would do that Elon collab.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Greg, it's good to have you. Thanks for being here, man. I know you're a little short on time, so I'll let you go. What do we got here? Do we got a code for Cross? Do we got code Greg for Crossnet? Do we follow you on Instagram? What do we want to do?
You can follow me on Instagram at woeismeade, WOEISMEADE. If you actually want a Crossnet and want to support, DM me. I'll hook you up with a code.
Dope. Yep. Greg, thanks for being here. Come back soon.